Today, we're gonna work on your favorite car. My favorite car too at the moment, actually, just because, I mean, you'll understand, but if you could pick which one it was, which one would it be right now? That one's actually come a long way. We got Perspex in that now. We're gonna work on the Tezzy. This thing is so much fun. I've been really enjoying digging into it just because cheap everything for it. In fact, the only part that I'm not buying because it's too much money is this fender. I was gonna replace this fender because it's pretty beat up, but I'm just gonna bend it and make it work and screw it back in because the left-hand side fenders, I guess, are the most crashed ones in Japan, and they're like 30 to 40,000 yen for a dented one, whereas the right-hand side ones are like 60 bucks a pop. So anyways, we're gonna work on this today. We got a box of parts that we need to go through that just arrived, so we can finally probably get the power steering working on this, but I just made a pretty gnarly discovery, which means we're gonna have to order some parts of Toyota to fix this thing so we can even get a radiator in this, because I did order some AliExpress stuff for it so that we can get this thing cool and be able to do a lot of laps without overheating and stuff like that. So anyways, let's jump into this and pull this whole front end in. Also, I'm gonna start doing a lot of this vlogging stuff when I'm by myself with my iPhone. So let me know if you're okay with this quality. The last couple videos, I think I've done the same thing. But yeah, just give me feedback. I wanna see if this is the new meta. I mean, tons of my friends that have way bigger channels than me have started using iPhones too, just because of how good the cameras are these days. Bear in mind, it doesn't look as good as having a good real glass lens, but I'm starting to think for these kinds of vlogs, it makes more sense. Anyways, I'm curious to know your thoughts in this in the comments. Let me know. Tezzy game mode. Everything's held on with really old zip ties, so don't worry. There is so much crap on the ground and dirt now. Dude, I thought we cleaned all this. It's wild that the bash bar's fine, but why is this all bent up? The guy run over a rock? All right, so I want to take aircon out today. We want to like lighten this thing up as much as possible, but I also want to see if I can somehow massage. Let me show you. This is the best thing to do, is just to show you guys what we're dealing with. I want to try to massage this out so we can somehow get a radiator back in there, because it's really bent and mangled up. Now I know I could probably get this piece off Toyota, but that's probably going to be like 70 bucks, and I'd rather not spend money and just try to pull that out and make it work. We do need to be able to fit like a big 3-row radiator in here though, so that's another thing. But dude, this thing is still so filthy. I'm not surprised. We literally pulled this thing out of the jungle, so it is what it is. Floor gang, oh! Not bad. Let that go. Yeah. Let it drain, baby. So this actually has the wrong radiator in it right now. Let's flip my toolbox around too. Does anyone else feel like they need to go pee yet? Might have to get some radiator hoses too, because these are pretty bad. Okay. I think it's still zip tied somewhere. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Zip tie here. And, yep. And zip tie. Gonna give it a pretty good job. All right. This radiator is not the right one for this car, which we already kind of knew. The easiest way to tell that this is for the beams is the bottom outlet here, or inlet, is on the left-hand side when it's actually supposed to be on this side. And another thing I noticed is the whole top of this is completely snapped off. It's not inside the hose or the engine or anything, so I guess it just came off a car that was a little damaged. But looking at this, it looks like, you know,
we should be able to kind of bend this out and make it somewhat usable and just massage it with a hammer to where it needs to, but we won't be able to really know where it needs to be until we get our new radiator. In the meantime, we can take the condenser and all the AC stuff off. I can even take the aircon compressor off, which will be a bit of a weight reduction, take a little tiny bit of load off the front pulley stuff too. Everything looks a little nasty there with how rusty the pulleys are and stuff, but I'm not too worried about that. The main thing is we don't have a power steering set up right now, so let's go get our box of parts that have arrived from Gerald in Okinawa and see what we got. So Gerald sent this box of pretty much all the parts that I'm gonna need to get my power steering going. Took it off one of the other cars that he had sitting there. Looks like he sent me a couple of his shirts and stickers too, so thank you, dude. We'll go through that later, but we need to get all of these parts out here. I think that's the reservoir, random hoses and stuff. Damn, he went to town wrapping this stuff, probably to make sure none of it leaked and whatnot. All the hoses, all the bolts we need, the pump. So you guys know all of this stuff was all missing off my car. All right, that's that. So I'm gonna unwrap all of this. There should also be a couple other bolts in here for my steering shaft and stuff, because that was missing from that uni joint there too. So I'll unwrap all of this and we'll start bolting it on. Looks like we've got everything, including these two special kind of like M12 bolts that have this kind of, I don't know, rib section here. And it's for the steering column, like the steering shaft little uni joint thing here. They take these special bolts to help them lock in, this thing here. For some reason my car didn't have them on here at all. So I need to put both of these in there, lock them in place. We'll send the car up and do that in a little bit, but it's really handy that Gerald was able to just take all this off some of the other parts cars in his little junkyard there. So I'm gonna clean these up a little bit, just get some of the old oil off, and then we'll start bolting everything on. As for a belt, I think I need a 3PK, like 890, it looks like, according to this one here. So there's a good chance I might have one, because I think Skylines use something similar around there. Some of the like S13s do too. I think it's a 3PK, like 890-ish. Hang on, there's a 3PK 820. We might be able to make that work. I have a 3PK 800. We'll see what we can make work. What's this 3PK? 3PK 780. Okay, that's a little too small, but I'm sure we'll be able to make one of these belts work. Otherwise, I have, what's that one there? Hang on. 3PK, 820. Okay, worst case scenario, I know I have like a 4PK 890 here somewhere, so I could just cut a rib off that. But I have also just placed an order on Amazon for the right belt to come. If I can't get any of these to work temporarily or whatever, we can always go down that route and just wait for that, a couple days for that. But I kind of want to make sure power steering works today. I started trying to figure out how the power steering pump goes on there. Looks like all the bolts and everything we need is there. It's quite simple. I got the reservoir bolted in. I did have to drill out this hole because the bolt was rusted and snapped off. Drilled it out, retapped it, so that went in there really nice. What I've gone and done is I cleaned these pulleys up with a wire wheel, and then I've gone and just sprayed some rust converter on there to try and neutralize some of it. And then I'm just gonna hit it with just like a kind of, you know, a sealer black, like a steel it kind of thing that goes over like any kind of rust and stuff like that, just to help prevent it from getting worse and causing any like weird issues with belt slip and stuff like that. But what I did was I just started the motor and then just put the wire brush on the drill in there and just turned it on in the reverse rotation, and it took all the rust and stuff off that main bottom pulley. So that was nice. And we'll let that kind of soak in, do its thing, and then we'll just hit it with a bit of paint, and then we can then finish bolting everything up. But one thing that I'm a little concerned about, I don't know how well you can see it down here, there's just a bolt threaded into the rack. So I'm hoping that's the same thread, or those threads are probably destroyed. And in which case I do have a backup rack. I have a fairly nice, like fresh refurbished rack that came out of that ProGrade that I parted out. So I could put that in there. Worst case scenario, if that rack threads are destroyed, or if the rack's just destroyed in general, because I don't know how these things are meant to be like depower steered, and I think that was just a temporary solution. I don't think anyone drove it like that, but yeah, I also want to blow this line out with some air because that's been open for a while, and I definitely don't want any junk going through there because the filter in this reservoir is quite nice and clean. So we should be good, but I don't want any junk going in there. So I'll probably clean that out as well. But for now, I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna go find some food real quick because it's lunchtime, and we'll get back onto this. But it's definitely like, it's not as fun working on this without a friend here just to like laugh and stuff. It's pretty like dirty and gross, this car. So it's a little frustrating to work on, but everything has needed WD-40 as well. Every tensioner, everything's a little crusty. Just things because Okinawa's got that salty air. Like every tensioner probably would have snapped if I didn't spray it with WD-40 and let it soak for a bit. So it's like very time consuming. Everything I have to go through and triple check and let it soak for a bit and then give it a crack. So hopefully we'll have this thing sorted soon.
A few moments later.
Just got back for lunch, which means it's time to paint that pulley. Let's go, baby. Nice, look at that. Beautiful. And better shut that off. Love that. That'll do just fine. I was just looking at this before and I'm like, it's kind of smart that, by the way, I don't care about overspray, clearly. I like this water pump design and I kind of wish this was done on the JZs, but obviously the JZs had the huge like wrapping around accessory belt. But I like that they got 2 accessory belt locations on the water pump, because even if you lost like your alternator belt or your power steering belt, it would still keep spinning the water pump. Kind of cool. Give that a little bit more of a spray and then we're good. All this aircon stuff I don't care about because I'm ripping all that off. We won't need that. Now, while I let all of that dry, let's send this thing up and get that bolt out of the rack and start putting these lines in. Don't get me wrong, I love having a lift, but sometimes I hate waiting for it to go up and I'd rather just slide under the car and work on it there. Let's have a good look here at what we're dealing with. Yeah. Maybe it's the right pitch. That's definitely like a caster on bolt, like one of these guys. Let's try and get that out. Looks like a 17, maybe 19, probably a 17. Let's see if there's anything else going on down here. Maybe a rear main leak, potentially. It's a little leaky. Not bad, not bad. Oh man, forgot about that. That's the nicest part about this car. Kind of at the moment of truth right now. If this is gonna come out or not. I'm a little worried. I have a feeling someone just kind of crammed that in there. Coming out okay, it's just got a lot of play. Oh, the threads look somewhat okay in there and I don't see any crazy like material or anything on this. It just looks oily. All right, let's start bolting all of this high pressure stuff in. I'll have a look at Riley's car just to get an idea of how it gets laid out. And then we should be good.
A few moments later.
I thought it was gonna take way longer than that to bolt that line in. It was so easy. Makes me appreciate Toyota a lot. Also, holding the camera and lowering the lift is something else. The line comes straight through there now. It's up, bolted up, torqued and everything. So we should be good to pretty much, once we can move this radiator hose out of the way, I'll probably just take it off the motor because we got fresh ones coming. But this little guy here literally just bolts on to the side of that there. Just like a little tweak though. We got to make sure we get that in the right spot so it's not interfering with the belt or anything. But that's that. And then we're good. And we can have power steering on this thing. But I don't think I'm going to be putting this radiator back in here. So we won't be running this thing for long periods of time. It looks so funny with all the overspray like on the alternator and stuff. This alternator is bad too, so I don't even know why I bothered painting that pulley. Before, when I moved it, it was like locked up and I had to free it. So I'll look for a good used replacement alternator. Let me quickly get some belts on and put the last bit of that line on and I'll show you what it looks like and we'll test it. I was able to cut one rib off a 4PK 890 I had up there from like an old Skyline belt. So that's gonna work as my power steering belt for the time being. I've got this here and a bung there. Fill this up with fresh ATF. So that should flush all the old crap out into there. Hopefully it doesn't create a huge mess. But let's just get on the key and get ready to turn it off in case it does. Sucked it down. Nothing coming out yet. There it goes. Oh, it's gross. It's bad. Oh, that is really nasty looking stuff. All right, I'm glad I did that. Let's put some more fresh stuff in. And we'll keep flushing it out just to make sure we're all good there. I don't want to put any, I don't want any of that old gunky stuff clogging up the filter in the reservoir. If ever you do have power steering issues, I highly recommend just change your reservoir. They have filters built into them They're usually like a $50 part, and they can solve a lot of issues with like not enough fluid getting to the pump and pumps keep burning out and stuff like that. Or just get an aftermarket reservoir that doesn't have one of those built-in filters. You can get the rest of that gunk out. Dude, it sucked that down fast. Oh yeah. I think we're good there. That looks like fresh oil coming out now. So I think we've flushed all the gunk out, which is what we wanted. Let's have a look at this fluid. I'm glad it didn't spill out everywhere. And then we'll connect the reservoir back to there, and then it'll start looping. Put more fresh ATF in and we'll be good. I'm pretty stoked on today's progress. We have working power steering. I have 2 bolts in my steering column uni joint thing. That means that that's not gonna fall off if we drive this thing. And we're sitting pretty good right now. The only thing we need to wait on is the aftermarket radiator to come, some new radiator hoses, an oil cooler. We obviously need a power adder for sure, because this thing, I mean, we can try to drift it as is. If you guys want me to get some like 15s on the back and go shred it as is, I'll be more than willing to. But I think the number one thing we need to be careful of is the dual mass flywheel that's in these things. They have a habit of exploding or just breaking and destroying everything. So what I want to do is put a solid flywheel in this, and then I think we'll be good. But just to show you power steering's all good, let's crank her up. Look at that. Beautiful. No angle in this thing stock. It's bad. We definitely need some knuckles. The power steering's all good to go. And that's awesome. Little bit of progress here and there. Nothing too crazy, but definitely enough for me to be happy with today's progress. That's the main thing.
While I've been working on this, I've come up with a really good idea for, I think, the last video of this year. And I think, I was talking to May about it as well. And I think we're gonna do it. And I think it'll just be really, really good and just kind of wholesome. And I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think you can guess what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna bring something back that we haven't done in a very, 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 very long time that I think all of you guys are gonna love and think it's nostalgic and just kind of a good reminder of something and super motivational. Anyways, I need to start prepping for tomorrow because I have to get up at like 4 o'clock and I'm going fishing, and there's really nice river place near Fuji. We're gonna go freshwater fishing. I just spent a ton of money at a fishing shop. We're going with all the guys from Tomei, so it should be good. They've been trying to get me out now for like the whole year, and it's finally worked out where I can go and spend some time with them. So we're gonna be there all day, kind of doing a camping like fire thing and all that type of stuff, and kind of eating what we catch as well, not going out there with any other food. So it should be kind of fun, and I'm planning to vlog it for the Sammit Raw channel. So if you haven't subbed to that channel yet, go do that. We don't have an upload schedule on there for this year, but next year we do. For the time being, it's just every time I get a chance and I film something random, it goes on the Sammit Raw channel. So go check it out. But I need to kind of clean this up a little bit. There's ATF everywhere. Am I the only one that like, I'm fine with transmission, like normal gear oil, diff oil, I don't care. That smells not that bad to me. The worst oil I feel like when working on cars is ATF or power steering fluid. That has to be the worst. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Like diff oil, transmission oil, like I work with the thick stuff too. Like we're talking like, you know, 260W kind of stuff for the diff. Let me see, here you go, 250. Yeah, so gear oil, 85W 250 is what I work with. So like that stuff's thick and everything, but it's the smell isn't bad. ATF though, I don't know, there's something about it that just gross, like it's gross. The texture of it, the feeling of it, and then the smell, especially old ATF. Like the ATF we flushed out of that, which by the way, I'm really glad we did. There was a ton of like water and all that kind of stuff in there, and a bunch of other like dirt particles and stuff that came out. But old ATF just has the most disgusting smell to it. It's like burnt, oily grossness, and it has this weird kind of like it's not slippery like oil should be, or lube, right? It's gross. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's some other fluid out there, but I hate ATF. Anything else I don't mind getting a shower in. ATF is the worst, period, hands down. Oh, and then that random very special power steering fluid that's like clear and yellowy in Japan, that is rank too.
Figure we might as well remove the AC condenser right now, and I'm hoping I can just zap these 10 mils out. Oh, that was a little scary. I thought it was gonna break. I have to say, massive kudos again on this car, because it has a removable radiator support, which makes this thing a dream to work on if it's a drift car. long as nothing's all rusted up like this, you know. Nice. And then I think I gotta undo this one too. And this one. I'm definitely gonna get some cutting oil, some drill cutting oil in there. And I'm going to tap and re-tap those holes before we put this back in. Ooh, wait a second. For me to take that off, I think I'm gonna have to unplug these horns, no? Maybe? And then I'll also have to somehow undo the 10 mil that's crushed there. That's gonna be hard. All right. One-handed Sam back at it. There we go. Got her out. Except for the bonnet latch stuff, which I completely forgot about that too, so I'll undo that real quick. AC condenser is out. I got the top radiator core support out. It was definitely a little tweaked just from this hit that's happened here and pushing everything up, but this will come down a tiny bit and I can actually get those core supports really, really cheap. So I should be able to kind of bash this in, or I can order this bottom piece, which seems to be about 50 USD, or I think the most I saw it for was like 70 USD. So maybe I can get those pieces and fix that if I want to go all out and repair it. But I thought for now, it would be worth me trying to just, you know, massage it with a hammer and see if we can get it to come back. Because I want to not spend money on this if we can. You know, I want this thing to be a full proper missile that hasn't had, you know, money, like tons of money spent on it. I don't want to make this thing, you know, brand new again, right? But at the same time, we want to make sure a radiator can go in there and be secured correctly and not be like moving around or anything like that, because that can obviously cause issues. This thing is going to end up in probably another wreck at some point, especially, you know, for what I have planned for it, which is quite nice to see that it comes with this really beefy, nice bash bar in the front made out of aluminum, which will be able to take a lot of grunt and a lot of hits. But yeah, we definitely need to try and get this bottom radiator support kind of sorted out. So I'm gonna just kind of keep bashing it with a hammer and see if we can fold it back up. So far, so good. This section here is going to be a little difficult, but I think I can use an adjustable wrench and multi-grips to pull that out, which helps. Get the slightly big boys out and just bend this back. I'm pretty certain like we can get this in a pretty good position, but I'm just wondering, really my biggest thing is like, is this worth my time, you know? Is it better for me to just cut this out and, you know, pull out the stitch, what do you call it, welds, the spot welds, and just weld in that new piece in here? Already looks so much better. Let me move you guys in a spot where you can see how this is turning out. Like before, this was like folded in half pretty much. It's a little tricky to work because the power steering cooler comes in through there, but they're looking pretty groovy. Just this part's all kinked out. Much better. Now, when in doubt, boys, just hammer it out. I just feel like it might, I don't know, I need to look what's on Riley's car, but if his is open like that too, it's fine, but maybe I need to close that in and box it, make it stronger, but I think that's stock. For the most part, we're getting pretty close to, yeah, that looks pretty square. Like it's maybe a touch higher here, but I'll be able to just smack that down with a hammer. I think that's fine. I don't think I need to replace that. It is a little sad, and it wouldn't take long for me to take out the spot weld there, and then on the other side, same thing. It looks like there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spot welds on each side. It wouldn't take me long to take those spot welds out and put a new piece in. So I will look at how much it is for my trade price from Toyota. But right now I'm happy with this. This would be okay. But if it's cheap enough from Toyota, I also don't mind just taking out 6 spot welds on each side. I'll drill them straight out. I won't even bother with using a spot weld remover. I'll just go, or I'll use the belt sander actually with my 3M belts. Those are awesome. And I'll just quickly MIG weld, zap it in, and then we'll have that fresh piece in there and everything will be square and we can start from scratch. But it's only if it's super cheap. Like if it's like 30 bucks, 40 bucks, I'll do it. Otherwise, then it's worth my time, you know? But for the most part, we can make this work now that we have 2 radiator points. Before, everything was just held in with zip ties, so we can make this work. It's way better than it was, that's the main thing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with today's progress. Kind of know what I'm getting into with this car now. A few more parts to come, and then this thing will be ready. It'll have a power adder as well. I'm so tempted just to take this thing out NA, and I've got a full bottle of NOS here and just put a sniper kit on this. I got 2 bottles of NOS there, and I have a NOS refilling station. Because in Japan, there's no such thing as automotive grade nitrous. You have to actually purchase it through like medical gas suppliers. So it's quite difficult to just get your hands on it. But because the gas company we work with for our welding stuff and all the paperwork we did for that, we have access to getting that kind of grade of gas now, which is super awesome. Also, yeah, not any normal person can just go and get welding gas. It is the whole thing to be able to get argon, CO2, and all that type of stuff. We fixed a lot on the Altezza today, so I'm really, really happy about that. And now I can go prep for fishing stuff, but progress is progress. And eventually, this thing's gonna be slaying. I can't wait. I don't know what to do with the rear though. I'm thinking I want to do 17s all round probably. And I think in the rear, when this thing, even with the power adder, I'm not expecting this thing to make anything above 250, probably like 220, 230. I'm thinking 17s with like, 205s, 195s in the rear. Just something like super small, cheap, and fun. Something that's not too grippy, obviously. I don't want to break the diff. They're the smaller diffs in these. We can upgrade them to the bigger diff if we need to, if that becomes a problem, but I don't want it to become a problem. I want to keep this thing and all the cheap parts that are in there usable, if that makes sense. I don't want to overbuild this car. All right? That's why I'm like trying to stop myself from spending money on buying new parts to weld in. Dang, that lower radiator support looks really nice on Riley's car. How did his car get out? Like his rear end is so destroyed and like bent and mangled up. But somehow his front radiator support's really nice. I'm jealous. But at least I can use this as reference points for measuring and stuff. But yeah, mine definitely is a little tweaked. But I don't know, I feel like we could use it as it is now. I think it's just my OCD that's like, hey Sam, it's only 6 spot welds on each side, a total of 12. You can drill those out and weld in a new piece in an hour. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. From just that little bit of hammering, that's everything that came off. Swept up into a little pile. That's wild.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. A little nostalgic, I have to admit, just working on a car by myself and kind of showing you everything. Definitely reminds me of Skyline in the driveway days and me doing multiple timing services on that car, trying to figure out what was wrong with the timing on my 33.4 at that time. But all of that aside, hope you enjoyed nonetheless. I'm really excited about this thing. I think it has a lot of potential. And like I said, we've got some cool stuff coming that I want to do with this thing, just to experiment. You guys know what I'm like, especially like with what we did with the Bogan 32. It's a lot of fun. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you have any ideas or anything like that, don't forget, post your memes and jokes and all that kind of stuff. Make fun of me in the subreddit, link down below, and join the Discord. Let's grow this community together. And I will see you all in the next one. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.